Today, we're diving into the future of hiring and how AI driven platforms are leveling the playing field for SMBs in the talent acquisition game.
The challenge is whether it's an SMB or whether it's an enterprise business. The biggest challenge is most often resume load. So, on average, jobs will receive 350 applicants. You can imagine if you've got 5 or 6 job postings, it's over 1,000 resumes that you've got to kind of delve into.
Now, small businesses often have the flexibility to adapt quickly and take advantage of emerging technologies, making them uniquely positioned to excel in competitive hiring landscape.
When it comes to a startup, a lot of it is about exposure. And a lot of small business owners just don't know that these newer, smarter, faster companies exist. And because they don't have the marketing budget to get exposure in a very noisy market for HR tech.
Hi there, small business owners. Are you struggling to find the right talent quickly and cost effectively? Remember, AI-powered platforms like Workwolf can streamline your hiring process and help you make smarter decisions. Hi, this is Kripa Anand, and welcome to the CanadianSME Small Business Podcast, where we explore the innovative solutions that empower small businesses to compete and thrive. Today, we're diving into the future of hiring and how AI driven platforms are leveling the playing field for SMBs in the talent acquisition game. Now, recent trends highlight the challenges small businesses face in attracting top talent amidst increasing competition and the need for efficient and trustworthy hiring processes. This discussion today will provide valuable insights into how AI and automation are transforming recruitment. Joining us today is Erik Simins, CEO and co founder of Workwolf, a company revolutionizing the hiring process by helping businesses screen applicants in seconds and reduce hiring costs significantly. So let's dive in. Erik, welcome to the podcast. How are you doing today?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. Now, to begin with, Workwolf is focused on transforming the hiring processes, right? Let's start by looking at the future for hiring for small businesses. Please help us understand how are AI and automation fundamentally transforming the recruitment landscape for small businesses, and how exactly can SMBs leverage these tools to efficiently compete for top talent?
Sure. So, the challenge is whether it's an SMB or whether it's an enterprise business.
Mhm.
It's The biggest challenge is most often resume load.
Mhm.
On average, jobs will receive 250 applicants. You can imagine if you've got 5 or 6 job postings, that's over 1,000 resumes that you've got to
Right.
kind of delve into.
Mhm.
So what AI is doing now is it's not like your typical older school word search, where it will match a job description and look at the resume and look for keywords.
Right.
There's AI now that's comprehensive, so it can actually understand what's being said on the job description and on the resume and do
Right.
better matching.
Mhm.
Also, in terms of getting to the fundamentals of how the person behaves,
Mhm.
predictive analytics are becoming
Right.
more popular and easier to utilize and easier to understand in terms of the user interface. And so some of the tools that are available today even are predictive psychometrics, where employers can easily benchmark their best-in-class performers,
Mhm.
and they can cross-reference that with every single applicant, push out these psychometrics along with the application,
Right.
and the applicants can complete those psychometric predictive assessments in 10 or 15 minutes. And then the technology can filter those applicants based on fit in terms of personality,
Right.
resume, skills, and experience. And you can basically get the same curated shortlist as what a recruiter would provide,
Mhm.
but it's automated.
Wow, very well articulated. Now, building on the theme of effective hiring, let's discuss the importance of trust and verification in the entire process.
Mhm.
Now, building a trustworthy and effective hiring process is critical for small businesses looking to make the right decision when bringing in new talent. How exactly does Workwolf build a more trustworthy hiring process by verifying candidate credentials and using psychometric benchmarks, as you correctly mentioned, ultimately reducing the risks of bad hire, especially for small businesses when they are already low on budgets?
Is such a good question and such a critical question because in small businesses, your business owner doesn't have the time or the resources for a bad hire. I want to talk to it a little bit because I've experienced myself. Some of my colleagues, co-founder Stephen Brennan, has experienced this when he ran Xerox, Canada's largest agency. The challenge is you bring somebody in, you'll spend 4 to 6 weeks in the interview process.
Right.
And you've got your short list, and even if your gut's telling you, well, maybe not the best, but I got to make the hire anyway.
Right.
You make them. Everyone's on their best behavior for the first 3 months, manager and employee.
Right.
But if the person's personality doesn't align with the job responsibilities, they're going to be challenged every single day.
Right.
Trying to do their duties, and eventually it weighs on them. And they're not happy in terms of job satisfaction. But then you've got 3 to 6 months of working with that individual. You've invested your time to try and bring them up to speed. And then you've got to make a call. And typically managers will wait another 6 months to 12 months to actually let them go.
Right.
And all of that time could have been spent with somebody who was a better match or existing performers on the team. So it's a real problem.
Right.
So trust and verification. And one is, more than half of the resumes are embellished, okay, or actually not accurate or false in terms of what they claim.
Right.
So you need verification up front. And the problem with that is that the legacy system is that background checks are done at the end of the interview process.
Right.
Okay. So the systems that I would look to now that are available would include a verification component at the beginning of the process,
Right.
would include psychometric predictive analytics at the beginning of the process, and comprehensive models used to match job description and individual. And what that does is it takes the guesswork and the bias out of the pre-screening component.
Right.
And that's available now. So I'd recommend, we've used it for years. I have another organization that I own that's a large staffing business, and fortunate enough to have 2 companies to kind of guinea pig the Workwolf product in the other one.
Right.
And we use it in both our companies, and we've grown significantly.
Wonderful. I think I totally agree, and that's a very crucial aspect of hiring as well. I think ensuring that you're bringing the right people on board is paramount. And, as they say, that employees are any company's biggest assets. So investing on the right people makes all the difference at the end of the day. Hi there, small business owners. Are you struggling to find the right talent quickly and cost effectively? Remember, AI-powered platforms like Workwolf can streamline your hiring process and help you make smarter decisions. And stick around to hear about a special offer for all of our listeners. Stay tuned. Now let's get back to our conversation with Erik and explore the unique advantages of small businesses in hiring. Now let's dive into the tools and strategies that can, further enhance hiring for small businesses. Now, small businesses often have the flexibility to, adapt quickly and take advantage of emerging technologies, making them uniquely positioned to excel in competitive hiring landscape. Now, you highlight that, the small businesses' advantage in hiring. In what ways exactly can smaller teams move faster, adopt tech earlier in their process, and ultimately win in the hiring game by using smarter tools like Werewolf?
A lot of, when it comes to a startup, a lot of it is about exposure.
Yeah.
And a lot of small business owners just don't know that these newer, smarter, faster companies exist.
Right.
And because they don't have the marketing budget to get exposure in a very noisy market for HR tech.
Right.
So I'd say I'd recommend doing some research, not always looking at, the Google search 1, 2, and 3, but going a little bit deeper, looking for the newer companies. And remember that newer companies, they've still got kinks that they need to work out. funny thing is, Microsoft still has kinks they need to work out, right?
Right.
I don't know if you've been on Teams lately, but
Yes.
or Google Meets, like
Yes.
still
A lot
issues,
of,
right?
yeah.
So don't hold it against the small businesses if there's some glitches in the system, right? Everybody
It's
has
so
them.
important. Yeah.
So I wouldn't worry about that, because the value or the advantages that you get from using more innovative, more recently created technology trumps what's out there right now by far. So some of the legacy systems still use older technology. They're adapting, but remember that these are much bigger ships.
Right.
So it's harder to move quickly, whereas these smarter startups,
Right. It's
that
easier
are
to
on the
make those
cutting edge.
shifts. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'd say do some research
Right.
and trial. Go out there and try the startups that are really shaking
Right.
things
Give
up
them a
right now.
chance, a real chance.
Yeah.
Right. Amazing. And I think that's a very empowering perspective for small businesses, especially. Agility and early tech adoption can indeed be significant strengths. And yeah, that's a very optimistic outlook as well. All right, we'll take a quick break right here, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, we'll dive into how Workwolf is transforming the hiring process for small businesses, including a real world example that will drastically reduce hiring time for one of their clients. Plus, Erik will share surprising facts about the hiring process that could change how you think about recruitment. Stay tuned.
Hey, you think you know UPS? Yeah, that's us. Everybody knows that. You know what you didn't know? This. Okay, try to keep up. Ocean, us. Ground, rail, air, so us. Guess who? Us. Customs cleared, borders cleared, done. Us. You still with me? Wait for it. Boom. Us. Intelligent, automated, fulfillment. Us. Yep. Healthcare too. Digital your thing? Yeah. Well, book it, ship it, track it. You feeling me yet? Yep. That's all us. That's all UPS.
Welcome back, listeners. Before the break, we explored the unique advantages small businesses have in the hiring game. Now, let's dive into how Workwolf is driving success with the real world results. Now, let's shift gears and discuss the broader impact of streamlining hiring processes on business growth and employee retention. Now, Workwolf has proven to be a game changer for many businesses by streamlining hiring processes and driving significant efficiency improvements. You shared a very compelling story about Billiard Insurance Group cutting their hiring time significantly using Workwolf. Please elaborate on that experience, especially, and what exactly stood out the most about the impact of your platform.
Sure. So a typical time to hire on average would be, let's say, 4 weeks. But if you're able to automate and start to filter these applicants based on personality
Right.
and based on skills and experience, as they come in, they're automatically ranked in a stack ranking. You don't have to worry about the overload of the resumes and going through the resumes. It's all done for you.
Right.
So we've seen significant time reductions in terms of time to hire, like 70-80%, where you can get ideal hires made within 5 days.
Wow, that's super fast, right? And also, that was a very fantastic real world example that a lot of people could relate to. A 77% reduction exactly in hiring time is truly remarkable. It highlights the efficiency of gains possible. Now, let's dive into how leveraging data and AI in hiring can drive long term success for business. Let's expand a little bit more on that. When it comes to hiring, there are often some challenges that many business owners overlook. What are some surprising facts about the hiring process that most business owners don't pay attention to enough? And how exactly does Workwolf address these hidden challenges?
I think that surprises are the antithesis of good business. Nobody likes
Yeah.
surprises, particularly when it comes to hires.
Right.
So anything that you can mitigate in the hiring process that will give you a deeper look into the candidate
Right.
is going to be big value for employers to decrease the risk of making a bad hire.
If we were to give you a time machine right now, and if you were to go in the future, after say 20 years, how do you imagine the process of hiring getting much faster?
Yeah. I love that question because we've been working on this since we opened our doors. And it's basically eliminating the resume. So
Right.
instead of having a self-proclaimed resume, you would have a digital work passport,
Right.
very similar to a Nexus or a TSA pre-check, where if you have this documentation, you breeze through the lines. Okay,
Right.
so same thing in terms of employment. And what the digital work passport has, and we've built it, and we have about 500,000 of them deployed now. It's a digital repository of all the claims and credentials on a
Right.
resume that have been validated by the issuer.
Mhm.
So what our technology does is it tethers to enterprise level background checkers. And the difference is that we've changed the access to that information so that instead of a third party controlling the access of that information, the individual maintains control and
Mhm.
access. But the way the system is set up is they can't falsify or tamper with the information once it's in there, but they can grant and deny access to that information. So I see the future that has no more kind of legacy resume, but a digital repository of truth that people can build upon over the duration of their career.
Amazing. The future definitely looks very promising. Before we let you go, Eric, if there were, key takeaways from this entire discussion that you'd like our listeners to take away, what would it be and why?
I'd say look for innovative technologies
Mhm.
that can fundamentally change the process in your business because they are out there. They do exist.
Right.
There's very little risk associated with it. It's the same risk as going with an enterprise kind of I wouldn't say old school, but those that are most recognized today, try it. And if you don't like it or if it doesn't work, change it. Right?
Amazing advice. Please tell our listeners and share about the special offers that Workwolf is offering to all of them.
I think right now what we're offering is a 2-week trial
Mhm.
that includes 2 promoted job posts that they can put up.
Mhm.
So that'll rank those jobs kind of at higher on the job boards, and it spits out to all of the big job boards that you can imagine.
Right.
And then they'll be able to try for free the predictive analytic tool that we have, the smart resume AI screener that we have,
Mhm.
and they'll be able to experience the power of AI HR tech within their businesses for 2 weeks for free. So I think that's probably worth giving a shot.
Definitely it is. Eric, thank you so much for sharing your expertise and being here with us today. I loved each second of the conversation.
Me
Thank
too.
you.
Thank you.
That was an insightful conversation with Erik Simins, CEO and co-founder of Workwolf, on the future of hiring for small businesses, building trust in the process, and leveraging the unique advantages of smaller teams. Workwolf is revolutionizing hiring by helping businesses screen applicants faster and reducing hiring costs significantly. For a limited time, Workwolf is offering Canadian SME Small Business Podcast listeners free access to their platform for 14 days. Visit their website and access post up to 2 jobs, filter candidates with AI, and benchmark against your top performance. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Canadian SME Small Business Podcast. We really appreciate your continued support. Be sure to subscribe to our podcast for more expert insights and resources that can help your business thrive. Also, don't forget to visit our website, CanadianSME.ca, for more such valuable information and tools. And lastly, a very special thank you to our podcast partners, RBC, UPS, and Google, for their ongoing commitment to empowering small businesses across Canada. Until next time, keep innovating and striving for success, and we'll see you in the next episode. Kripa Anand signing off.